So Caitlin Clark's 25 points, 9 assists, not enough to overmatch the balanced attack that Connecticut brought with them in the game. Connecticut sweep the Fever. So, look, Caitlin Clark played much better, I think, in Game 2, Ari, than she did in Game 1. What do you think your biggest takeaway is going to be from Caitlin's first postseason endeavor?
Everybody's biggest takeaway is that playoff basketball is a different ballgame. Just like how she had to assimilate into the normal regular season, she has to assimilate to playoff basketball. Again, this is a Connecticut Sun team who is not new to being here. They have the hunger in them that they have not, that you can't measure against Indiana Fever. Indiana Fever hasn't made a playoff since 2014, right? And so to go 10 years without being in that playoff spot, you don't know what to expect. You have a young team led by a young core, and then Kelsey Mitchell and Caitlin Clark having to come together in a way that they haven't had to do yet. And so, all in all, Connecticut has a playoff experience, but I will say I was confused a little bit by Christie side's decision of keeping Kelsey and Caitlin in that long. They looked fatigued.
Yes.
Right, probably at the beginning of the third quarter, and there was no let up for them. And so I was concerned about, like, hey, what about your bench utilization? You have so much money invested in Katie Lou Samuelson. Are you going to play her? And she has offensive threats herself. And Grace Berger, great on defense. I don't understand not utilizing your bench more.
Caitlin Clark scored or assisted on 74 points in the first round. She was responsible for 49% of all the offense for Indiana. So, like, to your point, they have a lot of great players on this team. She's a big part of it. Do you think they relied on her a little bit too much to try and...
It has to be a balanced effort, right? When you come to playoff times, everybody's good, top to bottom.
Yeah.
When you have Nalissa Smith, who's one of your proven... She's the second overall pick for a reason. There's no reason why Nalissa Smith should only be playing 4 minutes. I understand the systems go as they are, and I'm not going to question a coach. I'm not a coach, right? But when you have somebody who can get in there and get those rebounds, when you have somebody who can, like, go in the paint and make it work, why not try it? Why not try it? If the end goal was not met in Game 1, and you see the game getting away from you going into, the second half of the game, why not mix and match the rotation so that it can be not just Aaliyah Bossing getting her 19 rebounds. She did great, rebounding. But if your offense is cold and you still have bench to play that is known talent, why not utilize it?
Well, you know who did? The Connecticut Sun.
Yeah, they did.
Utilized their bunch.
Yeah, they did. And their bench came up huge for him. So, look, when it comes to the Fever and Christie's side, she's right. Maybe not on the Nalissa Smith part. Nalissa Smith, I didn't like what I saw from her the first game. I'm not going to say she hasn't provided for this team or done anything for this team, because that's completely not true. Nalissa Smith has done some great things for this team. It just, this series wasn't the right one for her to play. She started. There was no production. She started the first game. Where was the production? But what we did see when she came back in the game is she gave her girlfriend a wide open layup, which I did not like. She's backing away as her girlfriend's driving to the basket. Like, what are you doing? Are you crazy? So for that fact, I wouldn't have played her at all the second game. She wouldn't have got 4 minutes. She would have got 0. Just being honest. Not saying she's not capable of playing. I'm just saying what I would have done. Now, they're right. You pretty much played Mitchell and Clark the whole game. Well, you did play him the whole game, but you have a bench with Berger on it who doesn't get playing time. And then you also have, I would have put Wallace, Berger. Those would have been the main two to mix up on defense and to try to stop their guard play and to try to put pressure on them early, because those are two overseas players, from my understanding, who have physicality, who have defensive capabilities, who could shoot decently. Berger could shoot the 3 ball. And I just think they have overseas experience, which is a different type of basketball, which is a little bit more physical. I think they would have fit perfectly with getting them some minutes. Now, Katie, she's been a little bit on the slower end after the break. She just hasn't looked the same. I've seen spurts. I saw some spurts from the last for the last regular season game. She had a decent night. But I just they're right. Chrissy sides, you know what? Maybe you should have mixed in your guard play a little bit just to throw them off defensively, and I would have put some attacks on them because they were playing way too loose. The Connecticut Sun were playing way too loose for my liking. Yes, the Fever, they played good. They made it hard. They made it difficult, but not enough. There was not enough. There wasn't enough energy. Let those two come off the bench, maybe mix them in and out. And utilize that. I think Dantas could have came off the bench a little early. And I love Dantas because she's going to come in, she's going to take her shot. She can spread the floor. She can shoot the 3 ball. She can rebound. And she's a bigger body and a veteran mentality. So there's a lot of things that went wrong. At the end of the day, look, the Connecticut Sun veteran team, as stated, they've been here before. They're hungry. They've lost before, and they know what it feels like. This group has kind of been together. At least the core has been together for a little bit of time. And then you just have about 6 to 8 people on that team who are just grown women strength, grown women mentality, grown women physicality. So, and then you got the Indiana Fever. You got youngsters. All 4 of those girls starting pretty much are young, besides Kelsey Mitchell, pretty much. So that's a way younger team. That's a young coach, a coach who's never been in that spot before, really, and just inexperienced a little bit. She got out coached, and that's just what it is. It's not on the coach's fault. I mean, the players got outplayed as well. They didn't shoot the best the first game. They shot terribly from the 3-point line. In the second game, they're just playing too stagnant. They played way better than what I expected. Not expected, but what I expected from the first game. They played way better. Way better. They didn't pull off the win, but they were right there in touch to get that win. If they make small adjustments, that's all. Hit another shot, maybe get to the free throw line. They haven't even talked about that. The foul calls or anything like that. The free throws were terrible. There was just nothing called for Caitlin Clark or the Indiana Fever. The whistle was going one way very clearly. And that's just how the game was officiated. There's a lot. I'm not going to get into the this and that. It's just not my spot to do so. So that's kind of that, man, on the whole take with the Caitlin Clark situation and how they lost. You know, it wasn't the best. And I think going into next year, they're really going to have to figure out this lineup. I don't think Melissa Smith will be back. I don't think a couple girls will be back. I could see a new coach in the next couple weeks. And yeah, man, the Indiana Fever, the season's over, and this is still what we're going to be talking about. And it should just show you guys how powerful Caitlin Clark and his team are going to be for the next years to come. So we'll see. There's going to be a lot of changes to the WNBA next year, and I hope you guys are ready, man. It's going to be a rocky season. It's going to be a crazy one, and it's going to be a big off season too. You know, because I look at this Indiana Fever team, and as young as they are, it's crazy to think that we really have faith in a number 6 seed young team that's never been to the playoffs. None of the starting 5 was in the playoffs before. And we kind of expect them to go out and beat the Connecticut Sun, who have been in the playoffs multiple times, multiple years, I think 6 years in a row, I believe. And we expect the Indiana Fever with 0 experience and a not that decent coach to go out and win. That's how much improvement the Indiana Fever have had this year, from starting 1-8, 1-8, 2020 finish on the year, or 2020 in the regular season, 2022 with the postseason included, or 20 wins, 22 losses with the postseason included. So that it's a winning season. Everything that they accomplished for the organization, the mentality they brought there, the fan base they brought there, the sales, everything. It's a winning season for the Indiana Fever. So, you know, hats off to them, and can't wait for next year, man. So I appreciate you guys. I'll be back with more content. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to Game Day. I'm out.